hair trauma. Your hair is already weak. The last thing you need is to be dumped into something and left to fend for yourself and then told to simply be patient or to simply wait or just let's wait and let's let it do what it do. I don't live my life haphazardly like that. As spiritual and as creative and as faithful as I am, I'm also very logical. Okay? I'm very logical. I'm very practical. Things need to make sense, especially when it comes down to my overall health and wellness. And you should feel the same way. Not everybody has the gift of sight. Some people have it, and those of you that are locticians that are out there that really care about your clients, that will go the distance, that will be there when they come and they express some sort of disillusionment or disappointment, you don't blame them and, dismiss them. You actually try to help them problem solve. You want them to be successful because you are invested in them. I keep telling you all, we are living in times where there is a division between the haves and the have-nots, between good and evil, between the righteous and the people who just run amok and do whatever they want to do, between those people who allow greed, avarice, and ego to rule what it is they do, and those people who allow service, love, harmony, and gratitude to be the impetus or the catalyst for how they move in the world. And the more that happens,
is a picture of Sheila, the lady from the channel from some time ago who was the thumbnail. Many of you may remember when I began talking about some of the issues with the small locks and some of the things that can cause hair foliage. When I began talking about small locks, Microlocks, Sisterlocks, and some of the conditions under which the retightenings can create a lot of hair fall, she was one of the ladies who was kind enough to allow me to see what had happened to her hair. But only within the last 2 weeks, she sent me a beautiful update letting me know that this is what her hair looked like now and that it was a result of my products, her loctician who she loves and who does a wonderful job with her hair, and prayer. And so she really wanted me to see how happy and excited she was. And she was really expressing gratitude for the I Am Melanin Magic products. And since some of you all may actually remember her, it was just a beautiful blessing that she reached out to give me this update and that I was able to see that text message. It was very, very delightful. So hopefully many of you out there who are still using the products and who use them loyally can continue with consistency to do the things for your hair that make all the difference in the world, and to take some of the advice that I give you here on the channel as well as what will be in the ebook as you begin to rescript or rewrite your own hair narrative so that you can have a better outcome. But this is so beautiful because it goes to show you the extremes that you see in the picture, but that all is not lost. And with a concerted effort and a change in some of the rituals and some of the products that you put on your hair, you can definitely rebound. We thank you so much, Sheila. Are you tired of struggling with hair growth and thinning strands? Release the magic in your locks and tresses with I Am Melanin Magic hair oils. A premium blend of all natural ingredients strengthens, restores, and revitalizes your hair for maximum health and growth. Don't let thinning hair straightened hair brand. Upgrade your hair care game today. I Am Melanin Magic hair oil. Hello, very perfect people. Welcome to Tanisha's Locks Beauty Tips and Potpourri, also known as and by the handle I Am Melanin Magic. I hope that you are feeling peaceful, productive, prosperous, that you are in your power, living passionately from a positive point of attraction. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. By the way, if you have not transitioned on over to Spiritually Initiated and Crowned, which is my spiritual channel, and you know you vibe with me, make sure you get on over there. We are getting it in big time, and the messages are coming through. Okay, so today
We're talking about something that I'm doing new with my locks to combat the breakage that I experienced as a result of some faulty practices and a lack of knowledge and some ignorance. Okay. This video specifically is for people who may have been in that track towards ignorance, which is simply not knowing any better. Okay, this may help you. It will at least give you a creative point of problem solving around some things that you may be able to do. Now, over the last several months, you probably have seen my hair looking kind of fuzzy and really kind of curly, and you may have seen a lot of stray hairs in different places. Part of that was because of me dealing with some of the repercussions of having made quite the number of mistakes around the front part of my hair. And also, if you all are taking the Righteous Hair course, so many of you are giving me just wonderful commentary, and I just want to let you know that I appreciate that. I'm glad to be in a space where I can provide that kind of nurturing and give you the inside scoop around my own hair journey. And there will be things that I'll be discussing here on YouTube, but the real scoop is going to be inside the course, the close-ups, and some of the things that you're going to want to know or need to be able to do in order to navigate this hairstyle with less carnage is going to be in the Righteous Hair course. But as far as what I'm sharing on here today, these are things that you're going to want to think about once you hit the intermediate stage. And the intermediate stage means once you have perfected, and when I say perfected, I mean perfected with my method, the Tunisia Ali method, which is the way that you perfect the placement of the knot. And as you've heard me say before, that's going to be the least of your troubles, because it's everything around that. When you misplace the knot and when you don't make decisions prior to knotting, that's going to create the drama for you. But placing that knot impeccably, okay, and having a method that will allow you to do that every time, where you will take the guesswork out, and you've heard me talk about this for many, many months, that is what is going to help you. When you don't have that, you're going to make unnecessary mistakes. When you don't have that, you're going to experience extra tension, extra tightness. When you don't have that, you're going to experience twisting. When you don't have that, you're going to experience all of the trauma that comes about as a result of trying to rescue or trying to reverse something that you could have avoided in the first place. There's no need to be patient. There's no need to just wait endlessly until, 28 moon cycles, or to just continue to pine away hoping that the knot will mysteriously disappear. You can do that, but if you follow my method, you don't need to do that. There's no reason to do that. Why? Because you're already in trauma when you have to do that. And the whole point for many of you who are my tribe of people who were transitioning from another smaller lock that didn't work and you were looking for something else, it was not to experience repeated trauma or trauma on top of trauma. I know that's not the reason why I went in, because y'all know I've been keeping this hair healthy as hell, and when it ain't where it needs to be, it's because of some stuff I did deliberately, like, the ends from the consistent dyeing that I've been doing. But I have kept my hair healthy as possible by utilizing strategies that I came up with, okay? And so my goal is to assist you, whether you're taking the course or not, to help you to understand that this cannot be a haphazard transition. It cannot and should not be the thing that you are experiencing in the dark. It should not be something that you wait 6, 9, or even 12 or even 3 months to see how it's working and what kind of problems you're experiencing before you get in and actually do damage control. No, I'm all about prevention. Anyway, back at the ranch. So prevention, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. When you are transitioning over from loss and you're looking for a rescue, the last thing you want to have to do is fight the elements when you get on the other side. You need all the information up front if the information is available, if the information has been thought about, and if the information has been packaged in some sort of framework, even if it is a mental framework that is going to be shared. You need to know these things right up front. And if my reputation depends on something, you better believe I'm going to protect my reputation, and I'm going to do what I can to protect you. And if I can't protect you, I'm going to make you aware. I'm going to make you very aware. And I'm going to tell you that this is what I do with my hair, and that if you decide you want to try it, start small. Try it in a particular area. Assess your hair situation. Set up a hair appraisal if you feel like you're not in a place to be truly informed. But whatever you do, understand that I am revealing to you some of the potentials based upon what I'm dealing with. I have 4 different textures. Different textures of my hair do different things. I have the advantage of having multiple textures of hair in my hair. That is a blessing that I have been given. And who knows if it has anything to do with what this little small wrinkle in time part of my destiny and my path and purpose is all about. I take it seriously. I take you seriously, but I do what I do for the divine and then for me. And you happen to benefit as a result of a work ethic that I have, that I bring to the table. And at this particular time in my evolutionary sojourn, it involves transparency, and it involves me sharing with you the things that you need to be aware of, whether you have Sisterlocks, Microlocks, knotted locks, or any other kind of lock that you may have. And so in making an effort to nurture my hair back to health, because remember, I'm invested in knotted locks because I chose knotted locks. And I said this in my reversal video. I better save it, because if I don't, then I've got to come out of it. Because the last thing I'm going to do is be a part of something that's going to tear my hair up, or be a part of something that I cannot find solutions for. And then I end up 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road paying the price for a decision that perhaps was not as well researched as it needed to have been from the beginning. Because everything that sounds good is not good. Everything that looks good is not good. Everything that looks like gold or it glitters isn't always gold. But I couldn't have been in a better situation, or it could not have happened to a better person, because I am up for the challenge. I'm not a quitter. I'm a solutions-oriented person. I pay attention to things. I analyze things. And I invite anyone out here who is interested in knotted locks, especially locticians, those of you who are master locticians and have been dealing with hair for decades and continue to deal with hair, to learn this method and to perfect it. And to continue to perfect it. Because when you are working with multiple heads every day, you bring an entirely different level of critical analysis to something. And you can take something and you can morph it, and it can shape shift, and it can become the diamond that it was supposed to be in the first place. You bring it out into the sunlight. You take it out of the illusions of the moon and you bring it out into the sunlight, and then you put your particular gifts. You put your particular gifts on top of it. You put your training, but you also put your acuity and the spiritual gifts that some of you have, because not everybody has them. Not everybody has the gift of sight. Some people have it, and those of you that are locticians that are out there that really care about your clients, that will go the distance, that will be there when they come and they express some sort of disillusionment or disappointment, you don't blame them and, dismiss them. You actually try to help them problem solve. You want them to be successful because you are invested in them. I keep telling you all, we are living in times where there is a division between the haves and the have-nots, between good and evil, between the righteous and the people who just run amok and do whatever they want to do, between those people who allow greed, avarice, and ego to rule what it is they do, and those people who allow service, love, harmony, and gratitude to be the impetus or the catalyst for how they move in the world. And the more that happens, the more that the cream is going to separate and rise to the top, and it will be clear for everyone to see. In fact, many people are witnessing this currently right now in their own lives. I've said it a million times. It's about more than the hair. But it is about the hair to bring you to a discussion that you need to have, or that we need to have, or to give you an example of some of these things that we're talking about that are actually spiritual nuggets of wisdom, or that are actually spiritual experiences that are going on behind the scenes. So when you transition over to something coming from a place where you have had hair trauma, your hair is already weak. The last thing you need is to be dumped into something and left to fend for yourself, and then told to simply be patient, or to simply wait, or just let's wait and let's let it do what it do. I don't live my life haphazardly like that. As spiritual and as creative and as faithful as I am, I'm also very logical. Okay? I'm very logical. I'm very practical. Things need to make sense, especially when it comes down to my overall health and wellness. And you should feel the same way. And so in doing that, I ask you to bring to this your creative problem solving, and to get in a space where you can evaluate and you can begin to make judgments in the interest of what works best for you. But I will give you a foundation on which to build. I don't believe in building my foundation on the sand. I believe in building my foundation on the rock, because when you build your foundation on the sand, it will fall. When you build your foundation on the rock, it will stand the test of time. And you won't have to be concerned about tower moments, because when things come to your attention as you grow and people that you are assisting evolve and provide feedback, you will take that feedback under advisement and you will use it to provide a better product. That is what we do when we understand how the universe works, and when we understand that you cannot stampede growth, and that evolution and growth and personal development and spiritual developments are mandates. They are not only moral and spiritual mandates, they are mandates and imperatives that we all have to take on if we're going to be in this world and manifest the glory of God that is within us and the glory of God that is us. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? So those of you out there who are my spiritual warriors, please show up with your purple hearts and your swords in the comments like you do on the other channel. So in trying to rehab this area, okay, and I've done it with a few in various other areas, you guys will see that I have within my hair certain places where locks ran into difficulty, and I'm letting that hair just simply grow while I keep it twisted as I continue to monitor the health of that particular area. What I'm going to suggest to you right now is not something you should do if you've had serious breakage or your hair is very thin and you have not given it time to bounce back. Time to bounce back is 9 months to 1 year, depending upon how traumatized your hair is. For some people, it's significantly more. For others of you, depending upon the quality of your hair, the texture of your hair, and how your hair is presenting physically. Okay, there are a lot of indicators that indicate the health of your hair. Okay, at least 10 in terms of looking at whether or not your hair is ready for something. Those are not the people who are ready for this at this time, but you may be at a later date. And that is simply, my hair is doing all of this. It's growing back. When you notice you have a lot of little short pieces because of breakage that you have experienced, something that you might decide you want to do is to begin to pull that hair in the same way when the interlock loctician, and you have some of them who do a better job at this than others. Some are able to pull that hair in very good that may be growing around the lock or growing outside of the lock in order to protect the hair, because there's always going to be strength in numbers, right? And those of us who stand together, dun, 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 oh, so when the hair, it's going to have more might, it's going to have more ferocity, and it's going to be able to be more of a gatekeeper against those things that cause breakage when you band together. And so for me, what I wanted to do first was, since I have a significant amount of growth, that same growth that if I knot it, it's still going to slide out, because that's the difference between the knot and the interlocking. Okay. In some areas, the knot is superior. It's not going to slip and slide out like if you were just putting your interlocking locks in, and you're going to be dealing with slippage and some other stuff. But the hair will slide out more because the knot is like this. And so those little strands will just begin to kind of slide out. And each month, until they grow long enough and are strong enough not to slip, okay, you're still going to have that knot, but you're going to have that hair sitting outside of the knot unnecessarily. Now, you can make one of a couple of two choices. You can continue to knot, okay? You can continue to leave more hair out and let that hair mix in and see what it does. Or you can do what I did with these few up in this area. And you'll see I didn't do it with all of them. I still have, this is a knot, for example, okay? But let's see, this is interlocked, okay? And so what I did was pull that hair in. And I don't suggest you do this with a knot. In fact, do not do this with a knot. In my classes, I tell you not to do this. There are a few exceptions when you should do this, but do not routinely take the loose hair and wrap it around the knot and then try to knot. I'm going to ask you to avoid that in most situations. But when you're interlocking, it is okay to take that knot and then to wrap that loose hair around it, and then to go in and to interlock in a 3-point or 4-point rotation, or in whatever way feels comfortable for you to do that, okay? That is something worth considering. Once you do that, you have fortified the hair. However, you're also going to see a stark contrast between the interlocked portion and the knotted lock portion. That is what will allow you to then make the next decision, which may look like, okay, is my hair now strong enough to then go over the interlocked part with a knot or two, depending upon how much interlocking portion you have? Or shall I wait until more growth happens and then go back in and knot over that section? Or is my hair okay whereby I'm comfortable with leaving it alone? Because when you have a healthy knotted lock, you should not see a tremendous difference in the circumference of the lock. If it is a healthy lock, just because you interlock it, you should not see a tremendous difference. And I think I might have grabbed one that, let's see if I can give you a better example. Is this one? Yeah. You should not see a tremendous difference. Okay. This is my first knot. Okay. This is where the Sisterlock starts. All right. But this is the interlock portion right up here. Now, if I choose, I can go back now and I can knot. If I so choose, I can knot if there is a less than gradual change in the circumference of the lock. Then I can go ahead and knot. Do you understand what I'm saying? You may decide, I don't want to knot. I was able to gently pull this through. I like the way this looks. This is just going to carry me temporarily to pull in the loose hair so that the next time I can begin knotting. Now, when you begin knotting the next 2, 3, 4, 5 months, however long it is that you wait that your hair can wait, you may decide, okay, I like the way the knotted portion phased in with the interlock portion. I'm good. You may decide, okay, I need something that is a little more gradual. I'm going to knot part of the interlocked portion or more of it, and then I'm going to continue doing my new knots. These things are very important decisions to make. The idea is to not lose more hair and to fortify the lock that has thinned because you have lost some hair. Do you understand what I'm saying? The idea is not to lose more hair and to fortify the part of the lock that has been thinning and needs the support of its brothers and sisters. Okay, these are all the things that you want to do, obviously, before you were ever to make a decision about marrying anything, as far as I'm concerned, except for the conditions to marrying that I talk about in the Righteous Hair course. So these are very important things, because you'll notice in my doing that with about maybe 15 or 20 locks, my hair is looking a little bit more the way it used to look. And that is the way I need it to look over the next likely 6 months, because at that time I fortified my hair, it is stronger, and then I can return to the practice of placing the knots without making the mistakes, because I've had to rehab many a lock up to lock surgery, which for me goes beyond lock repair. I talk about that in the course. For those of you who are in the Righteous Hair course, you know I have uploaded 6 new videos, and I will continue to upload more because I'm doing more. Now, what is the other option? Are there any other options? There are some, but I don't like them as much. You can continue to knot closer down to the root, and then you can, as you see, those knots will be much thinner. They're going to be much smaller because the hair is thinner. Don't be fooled by the illusion. What you see is what you get. Then you can go back in and you can knot over those right away. But if your hair is not, and you don't do that in certain areas of density, you're going to do that only in areas where the lock is thinner. Because if you do that in areas where it's not thin, as you all saw in my last video, you're going to have some hideous and heinous looking mutant ninja turtles in your hair, which you most definitely don't want. Okay? So you're going to make that decision accordingly, and you're going to have to observe your hair. So my advice to you, if you're not confident in what I'm talking to you about, is to take 2 or 3 locks and to do what I'm telling you to do on those particular locks and see how you make out. Now, you can choose the interlocking method or you can choose the knotting method, depending upon what it is you're trying to accomplish. And I will talk about the pros and cons of that more in the Righteous Hair course, because that's where that level of detail actually belongs. You are with Tanisha Ali of I Am Melanin Magic, also known as Tanisha's Locks, Beauty Tips, and Potpourri, here to give you the information that can transform your hair story. Your hair destiny is in your hands. It has everything to do with you choosing the locked style that is best for your hair type, best for your energy, and best for where you are in your spiritual acuity, as well as best for where you are in terms of your physical reality and the habits that you have and how you like to live and whether or not you like to do your own or whether or not you like to go to someone else. There are a multitude of different things, but this is your hair care journey. And all of us out here should be out here to give you the information that you need in order to make the decisions that you need to make so that you can still feel beautiful, and you don't have to feel humiliated. You don't have to feel fearful. You don't have to feel as though you're an idiot. You don't have to feel these ways. You can be in a space where you feel empowerment, and you can be in a space where you trust your hands to do the right thing, and you listen to your hair for feedback so that you can pivot where needed. Again, you're with Tanisha Ali, hoping to bring you better and more evolved information as my journey continues forward. Okay, if you resonate with me, continue to chronicle my journey as I will continue to share with you where I am on my journey. And if there's ever a point at which I see that the benefits do not outweigh the risks, or that I need to hide something from you that may be going on in my hair, or that I'm not feeling good about what it is that I'm doing, or just simply that the knots don't work for me. They can work for you, but maybe they just won't work for me. But I don't think that that's going to be the issue. because I have, like I said, a very diverse landscape on which to knot. And as you all already know, in joining Discord, I invite you to share your triumphs. If you would like to send me videos to share even on the course, I am more than happy to share some of your finds and some of your wins with your other sisters who are out here in this beautifully locked community, wanting to have a hairstyle that can be as carefree as possible and as healthy as possible without having to sacrifice their strands under any condition. Okay? If you haven't purchased my book, Manifesting Your Masterpiece, you can get that on Amazon. You can also get it on Barnes & Noble. You can click in the pinned comments to this video in most of my other videos, and also you can click in the description, which you will find after the more words with the 3 ellipses under the title of the video, which will give you a drop down box, which at the top will have the link to I Am Melanin Magic. It will also have the link to the Righteous Hair course for those of you who are interested in that. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for your beauty. Thank you for all of your support, your wonderful comments, and just the way that you guys soldier on my behalf, and hopefully the way that you also soldier on your own behalf. Lots of love to you. Have a beautiful, positive, peaceful, productive day.